What is up, Octo Nation? Good evening. So I was telling you earlier, I listened to a whole Louis Dejoy getting hammered by the by the Senate and stuff today, and I didn't pull any information out. I still probably missed stuff because I was probably daydreaming and just couldn't pay attention. But anyways, I found another interview 4 days ago where he was drilled by more senators and more random people and stuff. And I thought it was some decent information. I wanted to get it out to you and see what we can make of it. So he said, once we are running with the trucks that are running on over 90% on time. So what is he referring to here? He was saying that there's a lot of times that the trucks are running on less than 10%, or I'm sorry, less than 90% of the time, because basically 10% of the USPS vehicles all time are down. So what is he saying? He needs new vehicles, but he could also, start to see the macro picture of the electric vehicles of the workhorse USPS trucks because they don't have transmissions. There's no oil. I mean, there's no maintenance. He's looking at this as a businessman, which is why I think he was a great pick. He's going to do some things that are going to piss a lot of people off, but you got to run it like a business. It's not a charity, right? So if he really is doing that, then getting an electric vehicle that's going to save them money in the end for all the maintenance and everything. But the biggest thing is running on at least 97% trucks running at all time, and not having 10% more down. He said, and driving costs out by doing that. So it's going to drive out costs by doing that. He also said, when I first came here, that was an obvious thing to me to cut back to 5 days or 4 days. So in the United States, the United States Postal Service, they run on 6 days. It's Monday through Saturday. I've personally always thought that's kind of nuts. I mean, looking at it as a business, why? Like, can't they just skip Wednesday? I mean, like, do people really go check their mail every day anymore? I mean, so he's talking about bringing it down to 5 days or 4 days a week. They've got to make money. They just have to. The government can't just keep bailing them out billions and billions of dollars at a time for decades, right? So I think that that's smart. He said, or whatever that now I've worked with he said, or whatever. And now that I have worked with the process and research and studied the organization, I think the 6-day delivery, the connection the postal carrier has with the American people, that gives us a highly trusted brand. So he does see that there is value in it, but he kind of changes it up here a little bit. And then he says, and where the economy is going in the future, so I think he's saying down, when the economy's getting worse, I think that is our biggest strength to capitalize on, basically the brand and the American people, But then he says, we talk about a $1.5 billion to take away a day. So what is he saying here? He's saying that if he goes from 6 days a week to 5 days a week, it's going to save them about $1.5 billion, I'm guessing a year, to take it from 6 days to 5 days, which is huge. And then he says, I'm sitting here on a transportation schedule change, so changing the days, that can save us $2 to $3 billion and improve service and improve the connection to the American people. So do you see how he wrapped all this back up? He's actually saying now, to wrap it up, that he thinks it will improve service and improve the connection to the American people. I'm not sure. He's selling at this point. He's getting on the emotional side of the people and trying to say that it's going to help with the connection to the American people. I'm not sure how that's going to equate to it. It's going to piss a lot of people off at first, but long-term effect, it is what it is. They have to make money. So if they're losing money, billions a year, they got to figure it out, right? So just pay attention to that, all right? Then later on, he said, we have many 30-year-old vehicles. We are in desperate need of new vehicles. The loan is not for capital. I would like to see it extended and used as a capital type of equipment loan to buy vehicles and other types of modernization efforts that we have. And then he paused for a while and he goes, longer term than 5 years. So right now it's basically, I think it's like $6.3 billion. And he was saying something like he wants to get to 10 or something like that. But then he's saying he wants it to be more like a capital loan where they can kind of pull from it for longer than 5 years. So when I first heard him say buy the vehicles, and then right after that he jumped and said, and he looked away and kind of looked down and said, and other types of modernization efforts. I immediately was thinking maybe he's talking about like the charging or whatever, getting the chargers set up for electric vehicles. It could be that, or he was thinking about, or he wasn't thinking about anything and he just said that. Other types of modernization efforts, because he hasn't figured another way out. I mean, how else are they going to do it? They're already super efficient. You drop the letters in, they already use computers to move stuff around. I don't know if there's new computer systems or scanning systems or weighing systems that they could utilize, but I don't think he's been in long enough to even get that far into it. He definitely knows about the vehicles though. And so I don't know, I was hoping that might be, I'd hope he would cough and say, charging, to charge them, we need to implement modern charging efforts. He says, everything that has already been passed in a committee over 2 years ago for what we are looking for. So he's saying, we already got the 6th bill. Later on said, talking about how when you get below 90% trucks down, you can't depend on anything. As he was referring to the down USPS vehicles, because he said 10% of all time are down because they're breaking, 30 years old, and they're dying. One of the first things I found, he said, is to getting that transportation aligned, which we will do. He's super confident on that, getting that transportation aligned. So it's saying new vehicle to me too. And then he said, and saving $1 billion. And here's the thing. He said, and saving $1 billion to a 1.5 to $2 billion is what he said, which we can reach for, which was a Christmas present, a belated one, is what he said. So, he's saying he's lucky that he's coming into some money to spend, right? Because he wants to buy the new vehicle. So, you could take this bottom part as a couple ways. You can take this as him saying that the $1 billion saved is to correlate back up here to the removing days out of the schedule. So instead of going 6 days, 5 days, or 4 days, and the money matches up. Or you could take this and say that he's talking about switching to electric vehicles will save him the money. Okay, so he could be saying, and saving $1 billion to 1.5 to 2 billion. He said 3 different numbers there, dollars, which we can reach for, which was a Christmas present. He's saying it's a present. So when he wraps that back around and says, which was a Christmas present, that's kind of like telling me, maybe something like I was saying at the beginning when I first read it a second ago, that was money coming in. So is he talking about the money coming in was the Christmas present? Or was he just saying that it was so apparent all he needed to do was say, oh, just cut it down from 6 days to 4 days. Duh. It's a Christmas present. It's been sitting right in front of us. So you could take it either way. Is he talking about switching to electric vehicles that are going to save him that money? Or is he still talking about moving down the days? I think he's talking about moving down the days. I wish he was not. I wish he directly was talking about that. But if he wouldn't have brought this up previously, the $2 to $3 billion he said for moving it down, then I don't know. But again, he's looking at this as a smart businessman. What do smart businessmen do? They look at sales, number one. Number two, they look at cutting costs. Look at them together. They hire people to help them look at those numbers and pinch pennies and gain more. And usually the easiest thing to do is just tweak days, and switch products, stuff like that. So if he totally is, and there's no drama involved with his decisions, then he should go with the electric vehicles, because as you know, as a lifetime push of the electric vehicles, they will save a lot of money in the long run. It will cost more up front, but the long-term gain is that you do save a ton of money, not only on the maintenance, not only on the breaking down, but also just saving on gas, which is massive. So this is some good information, I think. It kind of does make me trust in him a little bit more that this is going to be a numbers game, which means even more truth that it's probably going to go to WorkHorse, because again, they're the only ones that are 100% electric. So what do you think? We still have that hybrid option, but I mean, to me, I would look at that and be like, no. I think I've always thought, the hybrid, half gas, half electric, it's like, it's okay, but you got to keep these easy for businesses. It's like, how are you going to refill it? There's one way to do it. We don't want to worry about having to charge it and fill it up with gas, because it just becomes a pain in the butt and long-term effect for the maintenance. What do you guys think? It's a big deal. I don't know. Listen to a ton of him today. I don't even remember how long the one earlier today was with the Congress. That was just terrible to listen to. This one was pretty bad too, but not as bad as the one earlier to me. But regardless, let me know down in the comments what you think. If I missed anything even more out of this interview, or if I listen to it any more and I find anything else, I'll put it down in the comments. But hope everyone has a good night, and we'll see you out tomorrow. Let's multiply, baby.